Hello, chess improvers. This is Adult Chess Improver Rich at Adult Chess Trainer. And today we have a multiple choice puzzle for you. White is obviously winning this game. And what we want to do is we want to find a forced mate in 2 moves. And there is only one of them. So if you want to take a look at it real quick, see if you can find some candidate moves. So feel free to pause the video. All right, so hopefully you had a chance to look at that. And just like with most of our tactics problems, we want to start by looking at checks, captures, and threats. And really, if this is a mate in 2, it's going to be checks that we're going to be looking at. So see if you can count how many checks there are here. We have the queen supported by the rook there, and so the queen has 3 checks. Here we have 1 and 2 and 3, all supported by the rook. And then we also have this check down here. So it is important to make sure you can identify all the checks in any given position as part of your normal routine for finding tactics. Okay, so we're going to make this choice here for this square, option A. This one will be option B, that'll be option C, and that'll be option D. So go ahead and look at those and see if you can decide which option you think leads to a forced mate in 2 moves. Okay, so hopefully you had a chance to look at that. Now let's just take a look at, let's say, the check here to F2, hitting the king on the diagonal here. Well, the king can sort of hide over here, and then what's your follow-up? You can't have a check with the rook, and then the queen doesn't really have any good squares coming up here to have a, like here, let's say, to have a follow-up check. So we can throw D out. Let's fix that there, that square right there. We can throw option D out. Okay, so that leaves us with options A, B, and C. So let's look at, let's say, option C next. So that's going to be queen to A7, hitting the queen from the A7 square. And again, the king can kind of run over here and hide on this dark square A5. And there's not really a follow-up check there. So we can already start identifying a problem here, that this A5 square seems to be an escape square for the king. And so that leads us to option A here, which is going to cut off that diagonal, and then the king can't escape that way. And then the king also is shut out here on both of those dark squares. And one of the patterns you do want to recognize here is that when you have a queen checking a king like this, the 2 normal escape squares for the king would be these 2 right here. I think it's called like a dovetail mate or something like that. But you do want to recognize that pattern there, and these just 2 light squares. Well, one of those squares is occupied by the pawn on A6. So obviously the king can't go there. So that just leaves this light square here on B5. So you want to be looking at dark squares and light squares. And again, so this is going to be, if we check here, cutting off here and here, the king really only has this 1 square to escape to, which is right there. And notice we have a light squared bishop. So this makes sense. The queen is covering the dark squares, and the bishop can now come in and follow this up with a checkmate right there. So that's our mate in 2. And just to back this up here, it is queen to C7 check. And then the king has really only 1 escape square, which is B5. And then the bishop comes in here to C4, and that's mate in 2. And hopefully you enjoyed this content. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. And if you can, please subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Appreciate it.